Slooshy, 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 slooshy. That's it, you just cut the corner, you dopey bitch. Fucking silly cow. Ah, yes. Welcome, 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 you wonderful drive-along fans, you. Yes, we are here once again with another epic adventure. Well, at least we'll try anyway, you know. We always do. We always try to make it as fun and exciting as we possibly can so that you lot can have a good giggle at me. And at my expense, I hasten to add, yes. We are up in Bromborough area-ish, something like that, near enough. And we are heading down to Stoke-on-Trent. Now I thought I was going to go to Haydock, because that's what was mentioned yesterday, but obviously I'm not. I'm going down there, so I've got to get a bit of a shufty on because it's supposedly a 10 o'clock collection. Well, I'm hoping I can get there by 10 o'clock, but I can't see it somehow. But we'll try our best. We will indeed try our best. Yes. You have to try. Trying is just part of the job, isn't it? Let me see if I can climb up the curb now. Damn it. I wouldn't climb up the curb, would I? No, no. Why would I do something like that? I'm a fucking expert driver, me. I'm a professional. It's Friday as well, that's another exciting thing to think about. It's bloody Friday, good grief, it's Friday! I'm on my bike again today, my helmet is there, sitting in the passenger seat. Now you'd think to yourself, it's in the passenger seat, ain't that going to fall off? Well, it did originally. That was yesterday. It went bloink and it ended up on the floor, and I was like, fuck. But this time, well, obviously yesterday I've come up with the idea of clipping the chin strap to the seat belt, and it's fine now, it ain't going nowhere. It's great, wonderful, it's magic. Magic and Morris. Oh, here's a blast from the past for you. Ooh. I'm hoping that this weekend, with a bit of luck, because obviously, as you can see, it's a lovely day today. Hopefully it'll be a lovely day tomorrow too. I'm going to go for a nice little tatar to be dad's on my bike tomorrow. And I will take the cameras with me, and I will stuff them on the bike. Yes, I might have a go at doing that. That should be fun, shouldn't it? Yeah. Can't see why not. Can't see why not, indeed. Here we go, tra-la-la. I know, I got some irritating rattles and knocks and clicks and not too bad though, it's not too bad. We can put up with it. We can put up with it quite nicely. It's not a constant, it's only when you go around corners and have bumps and stuff. So. Ah, you're having a burger, are you? You're having a burger? We are going left, do-da, do-da. We are going left, do-do-do-do-da, day. Something like that, near enough. Wirral International Business Park. There you go. That's where I is, or near enough. And we will be on the A41. The A41, yes. That's what we'll be on. And look, we're on the A41. Oh, we all feel nice and fluffy now, don't we? Yes, Why? Because we're on the A41. Don't have to be, but we are. We'll take a short little trip down here. We will jump back onto the M53. Yes, the M53. Which then will connect us to the M56, which then will connect us to the M6, and then we'll get off at junction 15, which is the A500, along the A50, and then we'll get off onto the little B road down there. Bit of a golf, isn't it? Well, that's pretty much the journey we're going to do today, as long as the cameras last that long. Fingers crossed they may do, because I have had them on charge, so we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Yes, indeedly. Diddly diddly. But if he's going to be tootling at fucking 25 miles a stupid fucking racked off hour. Okay. Here we go again with the fucking cyclist. Oh, it's just one of those things. Oh, hang on, oh, we are. That's it, right. You don't look like a fucking bus. Okay, never mind, don't worry about it, it's no big deal. Come on, dude, off it! It's only me who's got a fucking tootle past you. Oh, that was very kind of you, sir. Thank you very much, Lee. Fucking hell, eh? I'll tell you what, mate, whoever said the fucking Bromborough people up here weren't very nice, they are wrong, because he just flashed me through because he's seen that pushy bike. He's a nice man. He's a very, very nice man. You see, you have to be aware when those things happen, because if you aren't, then the lights will change and it'll just screw your day up. I've got nothing on the back, so I ain't got to worry about it. I can just take my time. It don't matter. No. Plus as well, it makes you a lot laugh, doesn't it? When we're off again. Right. It's not a bad little road, is it really, when you think about it? Oh, what the fuck are you doing? Oh then, fair enough. Couldn't you have waited? You know what I mean? Not like sit alongside me to turn fucking right, you great lump. Oh well, never mind. Not to worry. I might be wrong, but it don't look too bad round here. I know that looks can be deceiving, but I'm looking. It's tidy. I mean, look at it. There ain't no shit anywhere, is there? It's tidy. It's nice. I've been down some I'll tell you what. There's been certain places I've actually been to, right, where this is well before I'd done all this videoing, like, and I'm not kidding you. It's like, wow. It's like, am I really gonna go down there? You just don't want to. You know what I mean? It just doesn't look safe whatsoever. I have done that before now, but no, this is nice. Nice and clean and tidy around here. I like that though, when you think to yourself, well, obviously people who live around here, they're looking after it. It's always nice to see. I wish it could be said for the same about our estate where I live, but it's not so much as ours it's unclean. It's just the fact that the road that runs around our estate is completely fucked because of them stupid fucking road dumpy things. It's just absolutely shattered the road. There's potholes and all sorts of crap in it. Fucking crap. Horrible. Rubbish. It's not fair. No. It just isn't fair at all. Then again, some brainy fucking arsehole decided it was a good idea to shove these road dumps on 50-year-old roads and expecting them to last. Yeah, righto. Believe it or not, you know, when the road looks rough and messy, it also makes the estate look rough and messy as well. I'll be honest with you there, because it never used to look like that. And then when them road humps weren't there, it was quite nice, it was pleasant. But now, because of it having potholes and patches of tarmac and all sorts of shite, it just looks a mess. It's an eyesore. But what can you do? No. If there was someone or something I could do that would actually get something done about it, I would do it, but I just don't know what. And now that you can contact the council and say, oh, we've got a pothole and they've got to come and fix it, but they don't actually fix it. They just daub shit in it, and then that's it. That's the end of it, you know what I mean? But within about a few weeks' time, that's been shattered out and bounced off, and it's all over the road, and it's made another potholes there again. So it's pointless, absolutely pointless. Yeah. Right, let's have a look at this. Well, we're on the M53 for a little bit, right? And if you do pay yourself attentions, like looking around you and see what you can see, right? You got the Vauxhall place down there. It's just down there. You can't see it because the trees are in the way, but it's down there. You'll have to take my word for it. As a matter of fact, many years ago, I actually went down there and we did a bit of there was some rework I had to do. I used to work in a factory. I had to come up here and fix something. Them were the days. Them were the days. We used to do a lot of that though. We used to do a lot of rework, as they call it, when a component isn't quite right, so they have to rework it because it's supposed to be cheaper than making some more. But to be fair, I don't see that myself, but hey, whatever. I remember going to a company, I think it was somewhere in Peterborough. Was it? No, hang on, let me think. I don't know, was it? Oh, come on, Jace, think, where was it? I know I was doing some things with these engine mounts, and they had to go off to another company to have the rubber inserts put into them, right? And I can't remember whether it was Peterborough way or Swindon way. I know they're totally two different directions, but I'm just trying to think. I can't remember now. Anyway, right. I know that Cirencester rings a bell, right? But there was another place I went to, and because I'd got these rework parts in the back of the car, the back seats were laid down flat, and I'd stacked all these parts in because I needed them, and I had to go and take them, and it took pretty much all night. So I'd left it around about 10:30 at night, and off I went in the car, and I get pulled over by the police, and it was November. I remember the month. It was definitely November. So there I am, right? I'm almost sure I'm on the way down to Swindon, somewhere that way. I'm sure. I'm thinking it might have been Swindon Rover actually, because that rings a bell. Anyway, so there I am. I'm driving down. I'd gone up Birdlip, got myself up there, and I was tootling off through Cirencester, somewhere down that way. It was well before they'd done the extension. There's like they'd gone from the 417 to the 419, and you had to go through Cirencester to drop back onto the 419 from the 417. Well, now it's a continuous road all the way through now. Anywho, I'm up that neck of the woods, and I get pulled over by the police, and they get me in a lay-by. And you got the young copper with the older, obviously he must have been his trainer. And he bounces over to me, and he's like, you know, well, he's expecting to have this pissed up bloke in the car, because that's what I was told. And he's like, oh no, it didn't look like it, but it could be the fact that he's overloaded with all this in the back of his car. And and I looked at him like, what? Over what now? So then the old guy sort of like saunters over, like the older copper, and he has a look in the back with his flashlight, because don't forget, it's like fucking 11:30 at night, or whatever it was. And he says, right, he says, we can't really tell from here, so we're going to have you escorted down to the local weighbridge. I'm like, aye, okay then. I'm getting a bit nervous now, because I have no clue what the fuck's going on, none whatsoever. Because this is all new to me. I have no idea what they're on about or what. So anyway, they call in one of the highway patrol coppers to escort me through, because these were just the local village coppers and the highway patrol. So so I've got now 2 fucking police cars giving me an escort this fucking public weighbridge. I mean, talk about overkill. Anyway, we go off. I'm going off my beaten track. This is well before sat navs and all that sort of crap, like, you know what I mean? We didn't have any sat navs and shit like that. This is a printed piece of paper with directions on where to go. So now they take me off this beaten track to this place, and I get on the weighbridge, and they couldn't make their mind up whether I was I had to be in the car or out the car. In the car, I was in it, I was out of it, I was in it, I was out of it. And eventually, after all said and done, the guy on the weighbridge, I think personally, because I mean they asked me for the logbook, the manual, and I said, I don't fucking know what the manual is. You know, so I look at the glove box, and I'm thinking, there's this here, so I handed that to him, like, yeah. And I've got a feeling that the guy in the weighbridge booth, I think he was sort of like looking at these coppers, looking at me, and he's thinking to himself, I can't believe these police are doing this. I mean, haven't they got anything better to do? So I think he just sort of like fiddled it or done something, because the guy says, no, you're fine, you're all right. He says, the problem is, he says, what is it? Because your back end's low. He says, your headlights up. It looked like he was on high beam. And around here, he says, we have pulled up quite a few people with drink driving offences. Like, I'm thinking, really? He says, what you need to do, he says, just adjust your headlights when you dip it next time. I said, oh, I didn't know you could do that. He says, yeah, there's a little thing going on. Oh, well, that's fine, fair enough then. So I says, well, where am I, mate? I says, because you've took me off this beaten track, and I haven't got a clue where I am now, because I've only got this printed piece of paper to tell me where I'm going. And so I don't know. He said, well, if you get down there, you turn right, you turn there. He said, you'll end up back where you was. A lot of... Yeah, right. Ended up back where I was. Fuck me. I should have been at this place at around about 12:30. I rolls up at 3:45 in the morning because I got lost. I was driving all over I went up and down the same stretch of road for about fucking an hour, trying to figure out where the fuck I was going. I had no clue. All I got is a piece of paper with the fucking name of the roads. That's all I got, and I couldn't find my way back. Oh, I was so stressed. Oh dear. But eventually, like I say, I managed to get myself on the right track, and I got there in the end, and it was about 3:30 in the morning when I pulls up, and then we had to empty this frigging car for all these parts, stick them on one of their pallets, and then obviously I'm empty now, pull the seats back right and I'm jump back in the car, and off I go. And I fucking tanked it back. Then fuck. I think I got back in the yard at somewhere like about 4, 5. I think about 8 o'clock in the morning. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, and I said to the guy, I said, right, I says, I'm going home. I'd done like, I don't know, would it be 30 odd hours? So yeah, it was time to go home. What a day that was. Oh, all because I got took off my track. But I've done a few of those though, a few little journeys down there with parts to take in the car. But when they mentioned about being overweight, obviously back then it was like, what are you on about? Overweight? I'm in a car. It can be overweight in a car. Hey, it was a long time ago. All right, so, you know, I'm allowed. I was young and stupid then, so you know. But anyway, I've had some pretty good adventures when I've done that. I was when it comes to doing some either taking parts that need to be replaced because they're no good, or reworking parts. I mean, there was a little spate of doing some rework engineering quality check, as they called it, quality check. I was up in Wales at a place called D-side, and a little zone called Flint, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was D-side anyway, but zone 3 I think I was in. Anyway, it ain't far from me, it's just behind me, down that way. And I think it was a fortnight, for about a fortnight I think it was. And they give me a hire car. So every day I'd set out at about 5 in the morning, and I'd clock in, well, sort of like turn up there to around about 7, 7:30, something like that, every day. backwards and forwards every single day for a fortnight. So I'd get there and then I'd do a bunch of rework, and then it was to do with the sumps of the engines that we used to press those, and apparently they wasn't flat enough, so I had to go through pallets upon pallets of frigging painted engine sumps to make sure that they was flat, so when they assembled them they actually sealed. And then if they wasn't flat, I had to rework them so that to get them flat. There was some of them were, you know, okay, but then there was the odd couple that was, don't know how, but there was too twisted to actually rework straight. So, but that was a fun time. I think that was back in the day when I remember a song. Heaven is a half pipe. Does everyone remember that one? Because that was back then, when I was backwards and forwards there, when that was in the charts. So it was a while ago, and yeah, that was fun. Oh dear, way back when. Oh well. I'm creeping on this guy here, but I'm sure he keeps blipping his accelerator because he seems to like hover. Then he's slow, then he's hovering, then he's slow, then he's hovering. I do want to get overtake this guy and get out of the way, but I feel like he's hovering, so he's pointless. Fuck it, I'm gonna move over anyway, just in case he does decide to slow it down a bit. He may fuck off, you never know. There was another one of my little. See he's accelerated. Look, you fucker! Poxy old twat. Oh, just me. Oh dear. Anyway, there was a nice little incident. I say incident, more of a. How can we put it? An adventure. Well, put it as an adventure. Yes, there was this one little adventure we had. Same company, we've been doing this reworking lark. And we had to set out late at night, so we probably left our yard, the factory in Connecticut, around about the 10:30 again, something stupid like that. I think it was. Was it? Hang on, let me just have a recap, because it was a while ago. No, not this time round, because I'm thinking about the time we got there. It was actually up in Sunderland. That's where we had to go. There's a place called Talent. I mean, it may still be there, Talent. It used to do all the Nissan stuff. And we had to go up there and do some rework into this, as the quality inspection sheet labelled this particular piece of metal, which was stamped out of obviously a blank first, formed in a jig. It was all done in a press, so it'd be like stamped in a blank, and it'd be holes punched in it in the shapes, then folded and formed, and then it'd be chucked out into a bin. Then the next process, it'd be where it'd been folded into this, look like a. Have you ever seen those sort of like a cast boot that they put on your foot, like the black thing with a Velcro strip, a bit like that shape, and you'd weld the ankle, if you like, part, and there'd be a tube that goes through it, which is what I used to do, is weld all that up and put this tube through, and it was called the exhaust bracket mount, right? That's what we got the quality check for. Now this thing was not as quality check subscribed. That word. Described it. There you go. Fucking hell, my brain's going nutty. Described as being an exhaust bracket, but no, it's not. What it actually was the anti-roll bar bracket. They had just incorporated this tube so that they could hang the fucking exhaust pipe off it, but the actual function of this bracket was the anti-roll bar. It was an anti-roll bar bracket. I laughed my tits off, because I actually asked the guys in talent what this actually was, and I went, fuck no, I think you need to have a word with our quality check people, you do, because they think it's just an exhaust bracket. No, it's an integral part of the car. You need to have a word. Anyway, so me and two others were on our way up to Sunderland. So, as you know, you got to go A5, A38, M1. I'm almost sure the M18 was part of the road. I think it was, because don't forget it was a few years ago now. It was back in the 90s, I think. In the 90s. I don't think it was 2000 yet. It must have been the 90s, because I'd left there at 2003. So yeah, we're middle of the 90s. So anyway, I think it was the M18 we went on. Then we got on to the A1, and the A1, as you know, is a dual carriageway. Partly of it. So from the M18 uphill, dual carriageway. But it was all dual carriageway apart from this one section. They were actually at that time in the midst of extending and making all this 3-lane shite at the one section of this of the A1M. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was the part that joined on to the M1. I think that was the area, but obviously because of the roadworks, we had to divert off at that time of the night. I'll tell you what, the fucking traffic was an absolute nightmare. It really was. It was a right fucking game. So we're on this diversion, and we're going up, and we end up through this country lane and what have you. And what we assumed was going to be around about a 4-hour drive turned out being a fucking 6-hour drive. Oh, I tell you what. Eventually we gets there, and we should have been there whatever time it had been, fucking 8 o'clock or something stupid. We got there at about 10:30, 11:15. So we spent a few hours doing what we had to do, rework these so-called exhaust stroke anti-roll bar brackets, reworked all them, and then we set off at around about 1:45 in the morning, and I drove. Did I fucking drive? I was a bit naughty back then. Oh yes. I certainly was a bit naughty back then. Needless to say, we got home pretty sharpish. And yeah, it was a good day, that was. But you know yourself, when you work in a factory, you ain't got to worry about hours and all this sort of lark. You just work until you fucking stop, like, you know. So I earned a fair bit doing that. It was them were the good days. You could actually earn some money, like, you know. I love that. It was great. Well, I had some fun doing that though. It was little. I mean, it didn't happen very often, like, but there was some good little trips out with that lark. I do remember one little, shall we say, hiccup, I'll call it. I was given, it was like a transit van, box-shaped version. So I'll move out your way, you're alright. Fucking dopey cow. It was I better not even looking. Stupid, fucking stupid, fucking stupid. Good grief. Anyway, so yes, I'm giving this. Do you know? I'm not quite sure whether it was a Transit or it was. It might even have been a Mercedes, but it was one with a curtain side box on it. And I was on my way up the A38 to Toyota. You can drop some bits off there, and I'll come to their back entrance, but it was the wrong one apparently. And I was asked to, go drive around there and turn around and come back. And I'm not kidding you. I don't even know to this day how I managed it. And it was in like I say, it was a van with this curtain side back on it. And I caught out to the gate stand, the arm rests on, and bent it out of shape. I have no idea how I did that. Yes, I am in control of a 60-foot vehicle these days, and I have no trouble with it. But then, I misjudged my turn as I turned around. The back of the vehicle caught out the little resty army thing, whatever you want to call it, and it just twisted. I went, oh, for fuck's sake! But I got away with that though. The security guard, we managed to straighten it back. I said, don't worry about it. And I'm like, I apologise. I said no. And when I got back in the yard, because it had also damaged the corner of the vehicle as well, like not majorly, it was fixable, like, but yes, I'd done that stupid stunt. I don't even know how I managed it though. I just can't fathom what it was I was trying to do, or how I managed to get in the position I did in the first place. But we live and learn. But I was only young back then, I was only fucking just over my 20s, like, so I was only a mere pup. That's all I was. Young sproglet. Oh, it's getting a bit bright. It's getting a bit bright, and I'm squinting. It's making me bloody eyes sore, and I don't like having my eyes sore. Oh, that's better. Phew, I can bloody see now. Oh. Good grief. Yeah, but when you look back on some of the things that when I look back and see some of the things that I've done, I'm like, oh yeah, I got away with that one, didn't I? Good grief. Yeah, I enjoyed them days. There was some dull days. Well, as a matter of fact, there was a lot of dull days. But when the good days came along, it didn't half make a difference. It really did. One of my fun times that I liked as well was when I was after I was working in the factory. I started off as a press operator, and then I went from that to welding, because that was my background anyway. When I actually applied for the job there, but there was only press work at the time. But I wanted to get out the shithole I was in originally, so I took it. When they moved into the welding area, and I love welding. I can weld all day, mate. It's so easy. It's a piece of piss. But because of being a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to things like that, it had to be right. I couldn't just fucking pigeon shit all over it. It had to be done right, So I always end up with a nice, clean and flowed weld, and it was always smooth, and it was always nice, and whatever. I love doing that. Anyway, so I went on to do that kind of stuff. And after a while, working in the welding department, doing the welding and what have you, I wanted to have a go driving the forklift truck. And we had a new team leader who turned up, because our other one had left and obviously onto greener pastures, as they go with. And I managed to fucking badge him enough to get me a fork truck licence. So I trained for that, and that was fun. Good grief, it was a pain in the arse to start with though. Bloody hell. Being a forklift operator in a press factory, obviously, so you got to handle, because there's a lot of manual presses, so you have to handle what do you call it? A lot of scrap bins, steel packs, finished product that come off the manual presses, and the manual presses will only work as long as you keep feeding them steel, right? The blank packs of steel. You must keep it, and you'll have it. There's a couple of us, and we work about I don't know, 10 to 15 presses depending, and you have to feed them all, and you're on the go. But when you're brand new at this shit, and you've only just passed your test, right? It gets a little bit fucking daunting, like, you know, and you have to be a lot more careful, so you're slower. Oh man, the flack I got off the operators, I'm like, hang on a minute, I used to do this shit. You know what I mean? I know, give me a minute. I'd rather fucking, you know, walk before I can run. These things are dangerous, you know. But in my own time, once I got the fucking knack of it and got myself sorted, man, I was like a whiz kid on them things, I'm telling you. I was like here, there and everywhere. Done, that, dip, that, done. But then obviously after that, like, because your skill level went from like novice to black belt fucking 10th dan, like, you know what I mean? It's like I am the fucking nuts on this thing now, that everybody wants you to do their fucking handling for them, because now they're going to get fed fucking properly and everything's going to get shifted on the fucking dot, like, you know. And then you go, you were saying this fucking 6 months ago, were you? And then I went from that then to using the slings on the pendulum cranes. I've done all that, and that was fun as well. That was another experience, using the pendulum cranes. That was when I was doing a bit of fabricating and engineering-ish. Oh, it's very ish to be fair, but it was good enough for me. That was another skill I'd got. Again, that come pretty easy actually. I wasn't too bothered with that one. Then I used had to be trained on the scissor lift, but it comes in like a sort of like a double license, I suppose. It's you have to take your test on a cherry picker, which gives you the I suppose the license for a scissor lift at the same time. So you take a test on a cherry picker. But I didn't realise that there's different types of licences with different types of cherry pickers, and I say that because it depends on how high they are. The one that I had was, I think mine was a 25 metre. It wasn't a 45. It was a 25, I think. But going up in the air, 25 metres up, oh, this fucking thing, right? And you've never done it before. Trust me, you find out very quickly how good you are with heights, right? You seriously, you do. And obviously this guy who trains us, he's on these things all freaking day, and he does the fucking stupidly big ones that go about 100 fucking metres in the air, you know, the real daft fucking great big massive things. And he's like, it's like a fishing rod up here, and he's like, it's on the fucking thing, and I'm like, good grief, I think any minute now I'm going to fucking throw up. And, but you gotta hold your cool, because she ain't gonna pass your test, like, you know. And so we did all that, and that was another feather in my cap, if you like. So I got the ability to use one of them, and the one day, a few years later, they obviously with the new presses that came in, these progression presses and transfer presses, and the tools for pressing all the components got bigger, and the presses got bigger, like, you know. And there was a few of the tools that had to stay indoors because they were pretty much 30 tonne per tool that went into these presses. But the ones that were 25 tonne and less, they were stored outside. And obviously, to put them outside, you've got to have a vehicle to pick them up and take them outside. Ha ha ha! Fuck me, I was at first in the queue. I'm like, fucking stick my name on that one, will you? So I got my opportunity to get the unlimited counterbalance license. That was fucking fun. I love that. That was great. We had to have it was a modified Cat forklift truck. It was a Caterpillar. It was absolutely enormous, this thing was, right? The cab was higher than this cab. It was sort of like up there somewhere. Fucking stupid thing it was. But it was great fun to drive, and as soft as it sounds, even though it was big, it was quite easy to use. It was easier than what I was expecting it to be. It was just the fact it was big. I mean, I've been driving the counterbalance forklift truck anyway, so I got the hoister. I used to drive the hoister, which was a 10-tonne truck for picking the tools up and whatever. So that was a piece of piss, and it was obviously a little bit bigger than the 3.5-tonne ones we used to have. But this thing was like, well, basically it was about as long as a rigid. You know what I mean? Sort of like, that's the sort of size it was, but it was bigger. And this thing was picking up 25 tonne on the forks, and it was great. I loved it. And we had to shoehorn this thing into a warehouse, and it literally just fit. And the mast was purpose built, because they had to have it all rigged so that it was cut down to a height to get in the building, but it would only lift up as high as a tool, which would be about, I think the highest it would lift up off the ground was about 1.2 metres, I think it was, or might have been 1.5 metres. That's as high as it would go, and that was high enough to get it on top of sleepers, which was on top of a tool, so you could store them too high, outside. Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. It was a great laugh, that was. As soon as the tool setters wanted a tool out, I was outside, mate. Fucking out, drop tools, gone. Key in ignition, and it's fucking great fun, that was. But I love driving, you see. So when I got something like that to give me a bit of a challenge, I was up for it, like it was a driving, like, I'm just excited about it. Get on with it, do it. I mean, the forks themselves were a laugh, because the forks originally, right, the forks were 14 foot long. I mean, they were, honestly, the forks themselves, the original length of the forks, before obviously it all got retrofitted just to be used for picking up the tools, because that's all it was ever used for. They were 14 foot long. Oh, that was class. The best was they were 14 foot long, and the fucking tip of it was bent, like little curled up at the very end of it. Like, I'm thinking, good grief, what the fuck is that hit to curl that thing up? Because they were seriously. I mean, I think it was like at the heel of the fork itself. I think it was around about 8 inches thick steel. Some serious meat on that. I'll do that now. Proper heavy duty stuff. Now I can't remember the serial number of the actual vehicle itself, Mickey. I ain't got a clue. Yeah, but it was it was an experience. The controls in it had which looked like sort of like a joystick, almost like somebody you'd use as a fucking firing gun. They might expect some sort of machine gun to pop out the side. That was cool, because originally the forks were manipulable, so you can manipulate them to do whatever. You could, obviously you've got your normal function, which is up, down, tilt, backwards and forwards, but obviously because 14 foot long, and they probably weigh about, I don't know, 1.5 tons each, you couldn't move them to open them up or close the gap. So they were on rams, hydraulic rams, so he was able to open the forks up or close the forks in, depending on what you wanted to pick up. But they disassembled that section of it so they were set at just one position. So you just got the normal function of up, down, or tilt forward or tilt back. That's all. I'm not even sure if it actually had side shift. It might have had a side shift on it, but I'm not sure. Might have done. It's a while ago now, though. Didn't really need a side shift, to be fair, because if you drove it right, you didn't need one. But I don't think you did. Well, hey, it was yes, it was definitely an experience. That was. Yeah, what else did I have fun with? I think that's pretty much it, really. Especially working in a factory. That was the best factory I worked in, like, for the years. And the latter days it got a bit dull. And eventually I got made redundant anyway. So, but yeah, I've done some pretty funky stuff on the last part of the latter years. I think it was the last, say, 3 years of working there. I've done some really good, interesting stuff, fabricating stuff and creating things and what have you. Racking for storing the arms on the transfer press. I built several of them. I suppose you could call it a tool bench. I've built a couple of them as well. And it's like, you can imagine like a bench, a table if you like, or whatever. But it's got drawers and cupboards and what have you, and it's got a back point and shelves and things like for bits. And I've built them before, and I've made them, like put the doors on, the hinges on, welded them all together and what have you, and all out of steel. So box section, angle, flat plate. And reinforced thick plate on the corner of it for the what do you call it? The voice. So I've had that. So yeah. Again, like I say, I've made some pretty funky stuff. I ain't gonna say I was brilliant at it, but I was good enough. He done the job. I think my a couple of my crowning achievements, I suppose, was the safety guards on the actual progression presses at the top of the shop. I made them. I had to make the frames. They're only flat, but they had to be removable, if you like. But instead of making it as a door, which you could have done, I decided on making it as a raisable one. So I had to machine the box section and put slots in and machine some flat collars to go behind, so the pins went through and I was able to slide up and down and lock in place and whatever. So I did all that. I used to like doing shit like this. I love making stuff and what have you. I had to make was it some like a cover. There's having problems obviously because presses, oil is free, right? It's all over the place. It flows everywhere, right? Because it has to lubricate things on the outside of the ram arms and whatever, and the con rods and all that sort of shit. It runs everywhere. It goes all over the place. And obviously then the parts they get sprayed with all sorts of compounds as well to lubricate them as they get pressed out. But it was dripping all over there's strip lights underneath. They're dripping all over them, and it was causing problems and electrical faults and whatever. So I had to take them out, take the lights out, clean them all up, and then build a steel shroud that went sort of like, because they was hanging upside down, so the shroud would go on the top of it, then that'd be bolted to the fixing, the light be bolted to that, which then stopped all the oil from going inside, you know. So I had to do all that as well. Doing little bits and pieces like that. It was fun. going underneath a press, which I've done quite a few times, because these big presses have got scrap chutes, and they've got conveyor belts that ferry the scrap from under the press. Well, there was a couple of the presses at the bottom of the shop that actually had a underground conveyor belt network, and it went all the way through and outside the building into the big bins. And I've been underneath there. They're about 2 stories deep. Them all. That's fun. So I had to go and play underneath one of them for a bit. Obviously not while it's running, because that's dangerous. What I had to do down there was fit a safety rail underneath it and a gate. Just a simple little thing, really. Just make the rail and bolt it in place, then design a gate that would stop it from falling down the next 2 metre drop, So, and all it was just a spring-loaded mechanism, which you could unlatch it and then pull it, and it would swing shut. You know what I mean, behind you, sort of thing. So it was always shut. No matter, you could never leave it open. It always swing itself shut again. And believe it or not, that is easier than what you think that is. To do that kind of mechanism, all you need to do is I made it as like a bit of a offset triangle. So you got a 90 degree. Right, so you got the hinges on the one side, and then that's the top. Then you obviously put a diagonal piece into it, because that's all you needed for this small narrow doorway to stop from people falling down. But so it would swing back and it wouldn't actually stay open. You use a spring, and I didn't know this until obviously being taught the idea, but all you need is a spring, and obviously got to be a strong enough spring so that it actually goes back. You can't just obviously put a flat spring on it and just bolt that to the door and the hinge. You have to twist the spring. And when you twist the spring, for some unknown reason, it don't like being bent. It has to force itself straight, and that's how that worked. And I was amazed. I thought, well, even if it's twisted, I mean, why? Yeah, but that's what you do. You have to twist the spring up, so you put a bit of pressure on the spring as you twist it, and then screw it in that position. And then when you open it, it really wants to fucking pull back again. Mad how that works, isn't it? It really is mad. But that's how it worked. So, hey ho, happy days. Yeah. I've got to admit though, I think my crowning achievement, which had got nothing to do with work, my crowning achievement was my basketball net. That was just awesome. And it was all guesswork, all out of my head. I just imagined it. I used to like playing basketball, don't know why, I just did. So I made one out of steel. Yeah, steel bar. Shaped it, made a. I don't know. I still to this day I don't even know how I managed to make the ring as round as I did, but I managed it, and I've done that, and I marked off points around the ring so I could anchor a net to it, but it wasn't a cloth net. It was a chained link net, and I made the net itself and put that on it and blah blah blah, and put the bracket for the back of it so it could be screwed to a wall or a board or whatever. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. It must have been good, because one of the guys who was the resident fabricator, he was an awesome bloke. He was for building stuff he could make was just, and the quality was just awesome. Even he wanted me to make one, so I made one for him as well. So it must have been good. But what I do regret now, when I was working in the maintenance department doing that, there was a few items that was brought to the unit where we used to be, in these frames out of steel girder, and they were like I think there was 3-inch girders, I think they were. It would be like channel, like the 3-inch channel is what it was, but there was perfect shape, rectangle shape with a frame in the centre of it, like for a chassis basis of a twin axle trailer, and we had dozens of these delivered with those, obviously part of the packaging to house this equipment. And once they were just cut up and either used to make other stuff or just binned. And I mean, it was a perfect opportunity there to actually make. I could have made twin axled trailers with them, piece of piss, because you can buy the parts for trailers, the obviously the wheel hubs and what have you, and the axles and all that. And I could have made the towing each part and bought the actual the ball cup for it, the lock-in mechanism. But you know, and it would have been a what was it? About it's got to be at least easy 6 foot wide by 8 foot long, easy. I think it's got to be a 6x8. But you imagine that, and that you could have made them, and what a cracking trailer that'd have been. Next to fuck all, but aye, that was back then, and you just don't think of those things until it's too late. Yes. So, you know, even though I mean nowadays I wouldn't go back to a factory work, but when I did it, I have had some good times, but I've had a lot of bad times, but there was the odd good time in there. Yeah. Well, I couldn't do it again though. I couldn't go back and do that. I have too much fun doing this, Dick. You know, this is just, this is the tits, this is. And, you know, I like driving, so hence the fact that when I was in there, it was forklift truck, whichever I could get me fucking donnies on, like, you know. Brilliant. Love doing it. See, when I was on, in all fairness, when I was actually on the forklift truck, I think they were my best days of the week, because when I went in and worked, when I actually, now I'm thinking back on it, like, I didn't even feel like I was working. That's how much I enjoyed doing it. I'd go in, do my checks, and then do my job, and that's the end of it. And I never felt like I was really working, because it was just so much fun. Is that right to say? Am I wrong? But you know, it's a bit like this. I mean, I'm doing probably about an hour and a half drive this will be, but to me it's nothing. It was a couple of hours up to the destination I've been to. Nothing. I've got my music playing, you know, and nice weather obviously for a change, which is grateful. But it's not a bother. When I'm parked up and I'm having to wait, which I'm a bit concerned about today now, because I'm going to be late to this. I'm not going to get on time. It's just impossible. Oh look, Mustang, and it's a right-hand drive Mustang as well. Nice. What a car. If it wasn't for the fact I can't afford it, I would have one of them tomorrow. Like I was saying, we're doing this, like, obviously a couple of hours up and down, listening to music, it's not a problem, but waiting, that's when I get fed up. And I know that I'm going to wait here, because obviously I'm not going to be on time. and they have got this fucking ridiculous collection times, which is nuts. It don't work. It just doesn't work. Not for the likes of us. I mean, you can't predict how long it's going to take on your delivery destination. You just can't predict it. So how the fuck can you have a collection time? It's just stupid. I mean, yeah, I can get to my delivery on time. Brilliant. But how long does it take to get yourself unloaded? Something might happen. Your forklift truck might break down. You might lose an hour with that shit. Who's to say? On the way back down to your fucking delivery, your collection, should I say, you might end up with, I don't know, an accident on the road and some muppets caused a fucking tail back for fuck knows how long. You know what I mean? You've got all that shit to deal with. So how can you have a collection time? That's just fucking silly. Fucking daft. You can compensate for delivery time because you've actually got the product on the back of your truck, so you can do that. It's not a problem. You get in, you make sure you give yourself enough time just in case there are some issues, but you can tend to get there on time. But once that's out with, mate, it's fucking hit and miss, on the way back. So by the time I get to this place, it's going to be knocking on like 10:30, 11 for a guess. Hey, it's one of those things. It's just one of those things, I'm afraid. There's not a lot you can do about it, no. Not at all. But that's what bugs me. It's then the unknowing how many hours I'm going to be sat there waiting. Oh, come on. I'm going to, is it there? Because it does get fucking annoying. Really does. I've had some, oh man, I've had some really bad ones where I've been stuck in places for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, and 7 hours. I have broke down for longer, and the longest I broke down for was over 8 hours, and that was just ridiculous. Yes, I was broken down for 8 hours. 8 fucking hours. Sheer, utter boredom for 8 hours in one of these fucking things. That's why I won't tramp, because honestly, I was ready to fucking jump off a fucking curbstone. I was that fed up. Unbelievable. Oh dear. Shall we or shan't we? Shall we or shan't we? What do you reckon, Ladles Jelly Spoon? Shall we do it? Shall we get off here just to fucking spice things up a bit? Off junction 16? We might as well, hadn't we? We don't do it very often, so why not indeed? You never know then. We might be lucky. We might be fucking lucky. Is it me, or has the pollen count rose the last few days? I mean, I might be wrong, but I have been having a bit of a tick up the old snot box, and I've been sneezing. Not the eye-watering side of the hay fever that I normally get, just a bit of a tickly nose. You see, if you pay attention to what's going on, mate, you won't have to panic like that, will you? Did you see me slam my brakes on? No. Why? Because I was watching what was going on in front. I don't think fucking him there and his fucking, mind you, a conveyor belt trailer unit, whatever he was using there. I don't think he was paying attention though. Especially if he's fully loaded. He's got a bit of a bulge on the top of his thing, so he ought to be a bit more careful with that. With a share of spuds over the cab, like, you know. You imagine that guy, yeah? Well, it could either be spuds or fucking turnips, you know what I mean? It could be one or the other. Oh dear. If it's turnips, it don't matter, because I don't fucking like them things. Them are just nasty. They're just nasty. this dude left-hand drive? What? Because I'm a bit concerned now. He's just fucking, he's doodling or doing something. I don't know, he's fucking faffing at what I don't know. Oh, I'll tell you. And that's another thing that does your head in as well. There's no need for it. None whatsoever. Absolutely none whatsoever. Look, we're on the A500, ladles and jelly spoons. We ain't been down here for a while, have we? No. We don't tend to, you see. We tend to do the boring stuff. It's the motorways and just more motorways. It's always nice to be able to have a conversation with you guys if I've got something interesting to talk about. My old escapades when working in a factory. Ah, wonderful. Yeah. Well, I say, I mean, you can't argue as a job driving. It's not a bad job, is it really, when you think about it? It's the little bits after the driving side which can be annoying. That's the only thing that really bugs me about as a driving job. It's the bit at the end of the driving that fucks you off. Not all the time, but some of the times, you know what I mean? But you have to take the rough with the smooth. And just hope there's more smooth than rough. You see, if he was travelling at 60 miles an hour, I wouldn't have to fucking get around him. It is a 70 mile an hour road, not a fucking 45 mile an hour road. I mean, come on. I reckon, I'm not 100% sure because I could be proven wrong, but I reckon I've got a long wait. Yes. Yeah. A bit like go and fetch tartan paint, you know what I mean? Go and find a long wait. Remember them? I do. In the young, thick and stupid days, YTS. Does anybody else go on the YTS? I tell you what a fucking stupid idea that was. Good grief. It never worked for me. It didn't work at all. It was crap. The only thing I could say it did do for me though is it did teach me how to weld, and I did find my passion in welding. It was arc welding and MIG welding. My arc welding, oh man, that's an art. I love that shit. That is really the challenge of arc welding, MMA, if you want to be fucking professional. Manual metal arc. The challenge was to see if you could get a continuous curl back of the slag that peeled off the weld as you came away, and that was my challenge. I used to love doing that. Loved welding, and that place, I mean, that's where I learned that shit, but it didn't really do me any favours as such. I didn't really get anything from it. When they give you, because you had to go and work at a factory. I mean, okay, so I'm working in I'm training to be a welder, but they stick you in a factory that bends plastic pipe. Yeah, okay. They put you in a factory that cuts steel but doesn't weld it. Okay, right, that makes no sense either. They put you in a factory where there is welding, but the gaffer won't let you touch a welding machine. Yeah, so again, like I say, didn't work. No, fucking shocking it was. Absolute shit. Until the last part of my young, thick and stupid days, I was actually given a placement with a company called Chassis Development Services. They were in Blockswich, and hats off to those guys. They were fucking fantastic. Best YTS placement ever, but once I turned 18, it had to be end of, then it was finished, done. So unfortunately I had to leave, and they couldn't afford to take me on, because they worked it where it was all self-employed people anyway, so they just couldn't work it. But I learnt a lot there, and I had such a lot of fun there. And they even took me to the 1989 car show in the Birmingham NEC. Fucking Bill and George, and there was the two Daves, and there was another guy there, but I can't think of his fucking name now. But he came in later on. But we had a cracking laugh there. There was a good bunch of lads. They were a great bunch of lads. And, yeah. I must admit though, I have fucked up, and I've had some bollockings off them. Like, they taught me to MIG weld, and then didn't only teach me to MIG weld as standard. I'm inverted MIG welding as well. I mean, that's like upside down shit. Ha ha! I mean, yeah, oh yeah, upside down welding. It's a thing. Trust me. I didn't realise it was until they showed me, but it is. It's a thing. Mate, if you look on your steering wheel, there's a flappy paddle. The other side of the fucking wiper blade one. Twat. Oh well. 1989. Oh. Do you know what, right? 1989, when we went to the car show. I'm sure it was 1989. We had a look at all the cars, and they also had bikes there as well. And there's a Harley Davidson stand, right? Now, I was 18 at the time, because I'd just gone 18, so I was coming off the YTS thing. Anyway, but we'd gone to this show. Anyway, that's great. I don't know if anybody else has ever been to that show back then, but it was the year that they was exhibiting the XJ220. If anybody knows the Jaguar XJ220, that was the concept car that they was showing that year, and we went and had a look at it. It was, what a motor that was. But besides all the cars being very nice and that was lovely and all that, right, we had a look at the bikes as well, and the Harley Davidson stand in particular. And there I am, minding my own business. Now, I'm going to have to give you a bit of a backstory about what I looked like back then, okay? So, I was pretty much like in this shape, thin, so I wasn't a fat fuck, right? But I had the, I'm sorry to say, but I had a mullet cut, right? So I had the fringe and the long hair, like, you know, yes, it's a long story. I've actually got video footage of a mullet cut that I used to have. Anyway, I remember there I am walking around, and I'm up towards the Harley Davidson stand, and they've got the dolly birds on there, like, you know, the young pretties and the blondes, and they're all lolloping all over the motorbikes, like, you know. And this one girl, I'm not kidding, she was fucking stunning, right? Absolutely. I'm like looking at it, and she only goes and jumps off the bike and runs straight over to me and goes, "All right, Jace." I'm like, I had no clue who the fucking hell it was. I was like dumbfounded. And of course you've got these fucking 3 grown blokes, like, they're like, who the fuck is that, like? And I'm like, I don't know, I haven't got a clue. And I was young and I was stupid, okay? I mean, it just didn't click with me, like, I didn't know. And so there I am, I'm fucking standing at this fucking Harley Davidson, and she comes out and she's having a chat. Oh, yeah. And I had no clue who she was. And I was so afraid to actually ask her name. And from that day to this, I have no idea who she was, but she knew me. And she was a fucking model on a fucking Harley Davidson. I mean, come on. It's been one of, you know, when you ever have one of those regrets, I mean, that has got to be one of the worst regrets I have ever had of my entire existence, is that one instance. I wished I had the balls to say, I'm sorry, Cocker, but I forgot your name, you know, and act all stupid and what have you, but get over that point and just ask a name. But I have no idea who she was, none whatsoever. But she was a model on a bunch of the girls, like she was on the Harley Davidsons, and I had no idea who she was, none whatsoever. I'm going to cheat now, by the way, ladies and Jenny Spoons. I will let Mr. Tipper go first, though. I'll say I'm going to cheat because I keep forgetting that this has changed, because I don't come down here very often, and it wore like this originally. But it don't really matter, right? You can just use the road, it don't matter. So, in saying that though, right, think of it like this, right? There's 2,000 odd of you lot. You never know, one of you guys might have gone to the 89 car show when you were younger, obviously. And you may even have seen the Harley Davidson, whatever you may call it, and you might even have some pictures of it, and of that particular young fluffy. I mean, if you have, I mean, just, you know, let me know, and I'll tell you what, I'll be grateful. And I'll be grateful as well if you actually knew what the girl's name was, because it'd be a long-standing mystery solved, because I don't even know where I'd seen her from. That's the beauty of it. I don't know where she knows. I didn't even know where she knew me from. I mean, I don't know any models, for crying out loud. So where the hell do you know me? What the fuck? I'm a nobody. I'm a YTS young, thick and stupid, for crying out loud, and you're a model on a bike. But anyway, that aside, I mean, the day was a great day, but that got me flummoxed, and as obviously time progressed and what have you, I kept racking my brains, and I obviously got the piss took out of me at the work with them lads, like, you know. And who is she? And I'm like, I don't know, I haven't got a clue. Well, go and ask her. I was like, what are you going to go and ask her? I mean, have you seen her? You know what I mean? There's girls that you can approach, and there's girls that you've got no hope. But she went over there and she knew me, and I'm like, but who are you? Where do you know me from? Please help, I haven't got a clue. See, that bit where, you know, the ability to go up and talk to girls, right, when I was younger, it didn't work for me. I wasn't... I didn't have that ability. I wasn't good enough. I just didn't have the communicative skills, if you like. Yeah, it just wasn't. No, I mean, even to this day, I still find it difficult. But at least now, I know more, if you like, you know. So it's not so much that much of a bother. The only thing that worries me now is the fact that trying to find a girlfriend that can put up with me is going to be a bit of a feat in its own, like, you know. But I can talk to him, and it don't bother me. But back then, it was different. So you've got that to combat as well. But to think that on this random day, the lads at this place, at Shasta Development Service, who paid and took me to this car show, because they do it every time that it's on. They went, because I think it's every 4 years. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure I'm almost positive it was every 4 years. And it just happened to be that year No, why would he be 89 then? Why would he be 89 then? That don't make. Anyway, whatever. But we went, and it was a cracking day, and it just so happened at that day that she was there and lolloping all over the frigging Harley Davidson, and she knew me, and I still don't know for this day who she was. I haven't got a clue, none whatsoever. I wish I did. I really do wish I didn't know who she was. But what would be disappointing though is the fact that obviously if I was ever to find out who she was now, if it turned into some fat, frumpy, ugly looking thing, that would be really disappointing. But I can't see that. There's no way. Not if she'd actually gone into that profession full time, like, you know what I mean. I can't see it. But again, like I say, it would be nice to actually find out who she was. I mean, would that be possible? Would it ever be possible? I suppose it could be. I mean, but I wouldn't hold my breath, like, you know. But yeah, I'd be interested. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, how many years has passed? Fucking hell. Oh, I'm trying to count. 27-ish. Something like that. I think about 27 years, I think, yeah. 27 years. It's not 50, it's fucking 40. Spud box. Any pair of you? Yeah, it would be, definitely would be something to think about. Right. But obviously, yeah, like 27 years down the line, like, you know what I mean? But there's probably fucking married and a dozen kids, like, you know what I mean? But that's not the point. It would be just to solve that lifelong mystery that I've had for, well, since I was 18. It'd be nice to know who it was. I just can't remember who it was. I haven't got a clue. Wouldn't it be ironic if it would be one of my subscribers? Oh, that would blow me away. That would. Battery's just died on my forward fronting. How about that? It's just died on me. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I should have. I'm glad it was this one though, because this was the one I was looking at earlier. I was gonna put the full pair on it and plug it in and chill, but hindsight, eh? Hindsight. You'll just have to have my big ugly mug on me, you know, just full screen me, you know, for this little bit here. It wouldn't hurt you, would it? You know what I mean? Steady on, kid. Let's not jump the fucking gun, shall we? Oh. Well, at least the camera went off here, and it didn't go off in half an hour up the road. That'd have been a bit of a shit box, wouldn't it? But hey, whatever. Don't matter, is it? Nah. It's not a bother. Not a bother at all, no. I mean, we've done an hour and a half, so it's not too bad at all, that. I can live with that shit. I can live with it, I certainly can. Right then, we're here, we're done, and all the rest of it, so I'm going to go. Nice little conversation that was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed that. But anyway. If anybody doesn't know who that young lass was from 1989, the car show, lolloping all over the fucking Harley Davidson, let me know. But other than that, I will see it again, and hopefully, you know, I'll have some more videos for you. So go on then. Toodle pip and all that. Off you pop. Go on then. Pop poppity poppins.